The Boss MO-2 Multi-Overtone uses your guitar's harmonic characteristics to create amazing new tones.
All right, but like, what does it do?
It makes your guitar sound richer and more vibrant by generating new overtones based on fundamental frequencies.
Yeah, but like, what does it do?
It transforms the sonic characteristics and adds dynamic resonance. And there's a detune knob. It makes everything sound different and bigger by adding more notes into what you're playing.
Neat. Can we hear it?
Yeah, sure, let's just do that. This pedal has been out since 2013, and somehow it still has an air of mystery about it. Musician's Friend has it in their harmony and octave effects pedal section. Sam Ash has it in their distortion pedal section. And there are really no outward clues on here about what it does at all. And that's because it really is doing something new. It's Boss showing off what its MDP technology can pull off. And I've played around with pitch shifters, octave multipliers, and synth pedals before. This seems to be a bit more complex in what it's up to. But before I go too far into that, let's take a look at the pedal itself and see what these knobs do. The first knob is our balance knob, and that's the dry to wet mix. So let's start with the pedal off, and then we'll switch the pedal on, and then move the balance knob up. Tone is, well, it's a tone knob. Detune adds a little extra razzle-dazzle modulation into the mix. And that only leaves one more knob, this mode knob, with 3 settings, 1, 2, 3. And the instructions don't really help here either. They just say that it selects the type of effect that adds overtones. Higher values, 1 through 3, produce a deeper effect. I think this is Boss's way of saying, you're not going to read this anyway, so just try it out. Fair enough. Let's do that. And you heard me throw some distortion into that first demo from my Caroline Haymaker. You're going to hear some in the next demo too, and distortion kind of hits different on this pedal. First, here's my clean tone. Here's that same lick with some distortion before the pedal. And here it is with the distortion after the pedal. Interesting. So we've got options. The MO-2 multi-overtone is adding overtones. So what are overtones? We know that a Telecaster sounds different than a Jazzmaster, that a neck pickup sounds different than a bridge pickup, even when we're playing the exact same note. That's because we're never playing just a single note. If we were, guitar would sound like this. A guitar is not a synthesizer. It's that fundamental frequency plus a bunch of harmonic overtones. And you've heard those before when you've played artificial harmonics by holding a finger over certain frets while striking the string. An instrument's sound is made up of the way it resonates with frequencies, including those harmonic overtones, as well as non-harmonic overtones. Basically, anything on the instrument that goes, hey, you guys are vibrating? I feel like vibrating too. That's a feature of all instruments. Oboe, tuba, piano, violin, harp. That's how 2 guitars with the same 6 strings tuned the same way can sound different. It's what lets me not even be paying attention to a movie playing in the next room and go, hey, is that Vin Diesel? Because his voice is a distinct collection of that fundamental frequency plus every other overtone and affect related to it. Same with all of us. It's just we all know what Vin Diesel sounds like. But even identical twins with the same DNA will have voices you can tell apart after a while. Overtones, which is why this pedal, bringing it back to the pedal, when it adds in those new overtones, we start to hear other instruments emerge. Mode 2 seems to introduce something very subtly that I hear more of in Mode 3. What I'm hearing in mode 3 are not just overtones, but maybe some undertones happening beneath the fundamental frequency. That's fun. I also picked up that the overall intensity and maybe the range of the effect seems to be based on playing dynamics. So if you really dig in, that's when you hear those really high overtones, and that's pretty neat. But for these demos, I'm trying to keep it fairly flat and consistent, which is why I use a compressor for the song demos. It just makes it easier to keep things clear and comparable from take to take. And believe me, there's a lot of takes. A big reason we like big distortion is that the hard clipping of distortion results in additional overtones. And there's lots in the books about even order harmonics and odd order harmonics and suppressed harmonics. And that's why when you throw a chord through a great amp or a drive pedal, a big part of the experience is all those harmonics that get activated above the fundamental frequencies. So in a way, this is kind of like a distortion pedal, but without the distortion. Chew on that while we jam out on this. This is a great way to get a bigger sound without dipping into the usual distortion, reverb, and chorus effects. Of course, you can still use all that stuff with this pedal. It sounds great, but I could totally see this being useful in live scenarios where a clean guitar sound is needed, but a single electric guitar just isn't cutting it. I'm glad I got a chance to do this video. I was a little worried it would wind up being like another EH2, and it definitely is not. Plus, it's stereo. So if you're doing one of those church gigs and you're going direct into a board, I bet this would sound amazing up there. Or maybe you're just a dude in your basement surrounded by PV amps. As long as you're playing guitar, that's all that matters. That's the MO-2. It does some neat stuff, and I hope we got to the bottom of just what that neat stuff is. And if you like the way I do my videos, how about hitting subscribe so you get to see some more? That's all for me. I hope you had fun, and I'll catch you on the next one.